video is going to go over reservations and reservation details. We'll do other videos that show how to actually make these changes, but I'm going to go over all the tabs that we see and how and where to find information about the reservation. So first things first is I navigated to the reservation. One way you can do that is by clicking on search reservations. Another way you could do that is by clicking guests, going to search guest, and you can find their reservations from there. And you can also go to reservations and search reservations from here. There's lots of ways to get to reservations. You can also do so by going to the grid or a report and clicking on the reservation that you need. So once we're at the reservation, there's a lot of information to look at, and it is helpful, and then it'll be more helpful the more that you know where to look. So first things first, this units tab is the default view. So we're going to see the arrival and departure date. If there's no departure date, it's going to show an infinity sign here. And then we get a snapshot of what's happening. So this guest has not been checked in. You see how many people and animals are with them. You see their vehicle, how many nights their stay is, and you see the rate here. What's important to highlight is you can actually click on this, and it's going to give you the rate calculation. So this guest is only here for a couple of days, and it is just a daily rate. But if I had a special rate, if I had a holiday rate, a weekend rate, a monthly rate, a seasonal rate, it's going to tell me exactly what they're getting charged for and for which days. So maybe the 26th was one rate, the 27th, 28th was another rate. It'd be broken out here, and the 29th was a different rate. We would see all of that broken down here. The guests can also see their rate calculation breakdown in their guest portal, and so there's a couple different ways there that you can find that. All I did was under the reservation and units, clicked on the money amount here. None of this other stuff is clickable, at least at this point in time, but the rate calculation can be found here. So say you come to a reservation, you need to make some quick changes. Oftentimes, you're going to be coming to this options button, and you're going to make a change that is listed here. So we have the check-in, we can change stay dates, convert to ongoing reservation, move the unit, change the departure buffer days, lock the unit, update occupants, update RV info, update vehicles, or add to group holds or rate qualifiers. So lots of options there. They all look very similar when you go to make these changes. So I'm going to click on the changing the stay dates, and what it'll prompt you, are you changing dates? Are you changing amount of people? You'll make that change, whatever it's asking. And then this important button to highlight is recalculating charges. If you don't do this, that original rate that they booked is going to stay the same. Of course, there's ways to go back and fix this if you forget to click that button, but it's super important to actually click the recalculate charges button and then click save. So that's all under this options button here. So we're under the reservation, that default page, the units, and then options here. If you wanted to add a unit, you can also do so by this blue button here. If they made their reservation and then they decided that their party was going to be larger, they wanted to include more people, you can come in here and add a unit. And then under options over here in cancel reservation is where you can cancel the reservation. So we do have knowledge base articles for all these changes that go more in depth than I'm going to go in this video for the sake of time, but that is where that change would be. And you can also access their guest portal here, which we'll go over in another video as well. A few other details, you'll have their name, the unit they're staying, the specific lookup code for their reservation, and if the reservation's complete or not. Complete does not mean checked in, it means booked. And then if it was canceled, you would see canceled here in red as well. So moving on to the next tab, this is add-ons. This is where you'll be able to see any add-ons that have already been added. And you can also come in here and add an add-on. So a lot of parks have add-on fees that are listed. I'll click on mine. We can go, I have a cleaning fee. You can also add your rentals from here. Some people have cancellation fees that can be added. So you can add any of them with just a click of a button here and then go back to your reservation. The guest tab here is going to give you a snapshot of what's happening. I do apologize for this example. I don't have any information here. Mr. Marty McFly is not real outside of the movieverse. So, but if you needed to edit the guest, change the guest, add other guest info, or update other info, you could do all of that here as well. And then the charges tab is going to get its own video to go over how to navigate everything with charges, but this is where all the financial information about this specific reservation lives. So Key things to highlight: if there's no payment method on file, you cannot add that payment. So you want to make sure it'll tell you, instead of payment method on file with the card name, it'll tell you there's no payment method, but you can add that or update it here. If you need to know their total payments, balance due, or if anything's overdue, you can see that here as well. And then as I scroll down, we have recurring charges and one-time charges. Anything that's in Firefly, you can come in here and make a change. So if you need to delete a charge, if you need to change the amount, the example I always give is a broken window from a kid throwing a baseball fee. If you needed to add something random like that, you could add a charge here, and then you can apply payments to any of the charges that have not been paid. Jumping over to invoices, you can generate an invoice here. This looks like a super official PDF that some parks use and some parks don't use at all. It really depends on your use case. So I'll show you an example of one here. This gives you that rate breakdown, and then it shows you the history as well. And it's literally a PDF invoice for you to download, print, or send as needed. Okay, this is a lot in one video, so I'm going to keep going, and I hope you're bearing with me. But policies here, you can see if they've signed the policy. Marty McFly has not signed any policies. This is only going to happen if you make the reservation for them. If they make the reservation online, they have to sign it before booking. So for those of you who do primarily online reservations, you will not have to worry about this. If you needed to resend those policies, you could do so by clicking this as well. This is an internal notes for you. This is a notification history of emails that have been sent. And then this is an actual history of what's happened in the reservation. So I've made no changes, but if I had, they would show here. They would show when they were made and who made them. And then this is a two-way attachment that goes into the guest portal. So oftentimes parks have guests upload more than the park uploads, but if you wanted proof of damage or if you needed to upload something to this attachments for your guests to see, you could absolutely do that. Okay, so that is a lot, but that is everything within navigating the reservation. We'll do another video for making changes to the reservation, but I hope this helps give an initial overview to what you're jumping into.